Okay. Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm late. It's having a bit of a hard time logging into my account. Who we have here? We got Hi Raphael Gilbert. Keep bro, if this thing doesn't keep exposing Dusty Narcs, how are you? Ty, Stella. Thank you. Yes, I am. Well, I got me extensions. I did. You guys know I can't stay too long without having extensions. So one day you'll see me with short hair, next day you'll see me with long hair. You know, it's no secret. We got Ty. Um, Make sure I didn't forget nobody. All right, cool. Oh, girl, listen, listen. I love my short hair. I do, but some days you want to just kind of have it flowing. Like have a little something to have flowing. So every so often, yeah, it's gonna switch up. But and it was and luckily I found extensions that kind of match my hair. So this is like blended. It blends really well because my the top matches the bottom. So I'm pretty happy about it. So I'm gonna timestamp today's live. All right. So for anyone who catches it on the stream, they'll know where to skip to. And you guys know me, I suck at introductions, not very good at it. I gotta practice at it more. But in case you don't know, for anyone who's new to the channel, anyone who pops in, anyone who catches it on the stream, welcome to Narc Survival 101. I am your girl, Erica. Okay, if you haven't already, check through some of the content that I have on this channel, also on my TikTok. Also, check out the website, narcsurvival101.com. I put it in the corner. There we go. I put it in the corner so you guys can check out the site, sign up for the site. So that way, when I do blogs, I do events, I do giveaways, I do any little thing, you guys will be notified. Hold on one sec. I keep hitting the wrong daggone button. Okay, Raphael, question. I just found out that my narc is traveling all over the world now. She has no money. Do you think is a new supply? Possibly, possibly. Most of the time, when you have narcissistic, when we categorize narcissist, any form of manipulator falls under that umbrella, right? Usually, which I've mentioned this a lot of the time before too, with regards to somatic narcissists. Somatic narcissists are the very vain, the very showy people. They're the types that, you know, they have to live the life of luxury. They travel around the world. They buy expensive name brand clothes. They do all types of things. Let me just push my hair this way because I got the mic on this side. So I want to make sure I don't. But okay. They're the kind of people who will go into debt just to fulfill a lavish lifestyle. And they do it in effort to pretty much show the world. They want to show the world the things that they have. They want to, outdo everybody else. Oftentimes, when they get these nice things, it's not always their money. They use people. They use people for their money. They're somatic narcissists are known to being the gold diggers. They're the hustlers of the narcissist family. They are the ones who will use any and everyone. If you notice, like in a lot of today's content, I go through YouTube a lot because I like to look at different people's videos. And I've noticed that it's let me make sure I get the acronym right. MGTOW, men going their own way. I noticed that a lot of men who come from that side, when they're referring to certain types of females, which if you look at it, you look at a lot of their behaviors, whether these be people that are, being secretly recorded or just, blatantly, ignorant with their actions. If you notice that a lot of these females, they're all alike, like they're very, very similar to one another. And it's often about what it is you can provide for me, what it is you can do for me, what is it that you can give to me, right? So when you look at these, I look at these different videos and I see these kinds of females that are, yeah, I'm a millennial baby. You know what I'm saying? I was born in '83, and you know even in that time, yes, you had narcissistic people, you had people who use people, you had people who lie to people, and even in this generation you do have some of the people that do stand out. But if you go to really look at it, a lot of these entitled type people feel that they don't have to do the work, they don't have to put in effort, they don't have to, put forth anything to get something. They're so accustomed to getting things, and this is simply because they manipulate people to use them so they can get what they want out of them. And often, if they come across an individual who is not for what a lot of these men refer as simps, because they come across someone who's not willing to give into that and willing to fall for that crap, then they want to shame them, they want to bash them, they want to emasculate them, they want to do things in effort to project that they are not a man. You're not a man because you can't take care of me, you're not a man because you won't take care of me. The fact of the matter is that it's not their job to take care of you. But you do have a lot of females who will do things like that. Hi, official. Hi, sweetheart. But I noticed that, and it's funny because when I did my TikTok live on Tuesday, and I was discussing the female narcissist, which I do want to touch on that today too. I was discussing the female narcissist because again, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but it's mainly to get that other side. It's to get the other person or the other people's perspective. And one of the things that I notice is that, especially when you have, a man or you have several men that generalize. I am one, I don't, I tell people, just be careful how you explain something to me because I'm very particular. And by that, I mean, I will pull words, I will pull, demeanors, I will debate you because when it boils down to the generalization, when they say, oh, well, women are like this and women are like that, and don't, first and foremost, if anyone can sit there and take a generalized form of opinion, not an actual fact, but form of opinion, if anyone can sit there and let that infiltrate their mind and actually influence them that all women are like that, and vice versa, same for the ladies, that all men are like that, then that person is a very weak-minded individual. That person does not have a mind of their own. Okay. I don't generalize. If you notice that, I generalize narcissists because their behaviors are pervasive, their behaviors are the same. Okay. Doesn't matter the order, it's all the same. You all get the same end result, the same outcome. But when they generalize people, it's like, wait a minute. So you're going to put all women in one category. You're going to put all women under the same, umbrella, on the same boat. And the fact of the matter is that it doesn't work that way. Okay. And I often refer to people who do this as people who project their own personal experience. They project their own issues, their own personal experience, or even people they have witnessed experience these things. This is a form of projection. And oftentimes, if or when we project other people, because think about it, guys, if you were in a relationship with a narcissist and that person projected onto you their traumas and their issues, and they pretty much broke you down, and you were in a relationship with this person, imagine the kind of people who take on the projection of someone who generalizes how women operate or generalizes how men operate. We have to be very careful when we listen to certain people. And we have to be very careful when people speak on matters, when it's coming from opinion as opposed to facts. Okay? We have to be very, very careful. And what I notice is that when they generalize, they walk with the notion, they walk with the idea that, well, all women are the same. All women are the same. So if I dealt with someone who was dealing with a female narcissist or a narcissistic female, she doesn't have to be a narcissist, but she has traits of a narcissist. If I deal with a man who dealt with a female like that, and men, I want you to take this into account because it's important. It's important, and I'm going to explain why. But if I deal with someone who dealt with an extremely narcissistic female, did not do the work, did not do what was necessary, and understanding now, okay, I have to learn how to discern people rather than sit and project or rather than sit and judge people. But if I deal with someone who dealt with a female narcissist and did not do the proper work, they are going to, as a result, project onto me their trauma. They're going to project onto me their issues, their trust issues. They're going to project onto me the pain that they have felt dealing with that female. They're going to project all of these things onto me. And it's going to turn me into a victim of narcissistic abuse, of forms of abuse. Remember what I told you guys, narcissistic abuse does not have to just come from a narcissist, okay? But narcissistic abuse, which is derivative, I believe it's an adjective of a narcissist, it's derivative of that. So it's not being a narcissist, but it's abusing someone in a way that a narcissist would abuse another person. And being a victim of narcissistic abuse, if you're familiar with these feelings, then you pretty much get an idea of what it was that was being projected onto you. So after you're a victim of narcissistic abuse, you are experiencing, first of all, complete and utter trust issues. Okay? You trust no one. A narcissist trusts no one. Okay? You become completely paranoid that people are out to get you. People will hurt you. People will lie to you. A narcissist is completely paranoid. May not be for the same reasons, but you got to understand that the behaviors you will display, the behaviors you will demonstrate onto someone is going to be very similar to a narcissist. Because again, my belief is NPD, someone who suffers narcissistic personality disorder, is suffering a form of CPTSD. You have experienced PTSD or CPTSD as a result of abuse. So you're going to have certain traits, you're going to have certain disposition, you're going to have a certain disposition to yourself that's going to be reflective. It's going to resemble, which is why a lot of victims tend to sit there and say to themselves, holy crap, am I the narcissist? Am I being this way? Because when we describe how a narcissist is, they start to look at themselves and they say, wait a minute, but I'm paranoid, but I'm this and I'm that. And they start to question themselves. Being a victim of narcissistic abuse does not make you a narcissist. This is something that has happened to them at a very early age, extremely early age. We have to discern when we are dealing with someone, anyone in relationships. You have to really, this is why I say, look at the red flags, pay close attention. You have to decipher if you're dealing with someone who is suffering PTSD, CPTSD, who has NPD, BPD, ASPD. You have to look at the different, first of all, the traits of these personality disorders. And if you got to sit there with a pen and pad and write stuff down, sit there with a pen and pad and write stuff down. Because I know for a fact that nobody wants to go through what they went through before. Hold on a second. But when I watch these videos and I watch, these gentlemen referring to, women are like this, women are like that. And there is a video that I saw on TikTok that I even shared it with Amanda. And that video was more, it was just kind of like, it kind of made me disgruntled, not in a sense of it offends me because I don't resonate with those behaviors. I don't resonate with those types of behaviors. You know, when my situation happened to me, I had every opportunity to sit and shame this person, to emasculate this person, to, to really do some harm and try to hurt this person. I am not like that. Therefore, I'm not going to be that way. Was I pissed? Yes. Was I hurt? Absolutely. Was I dealing with emotions? Of course. But I did not lose my grace. I didn't lose what I essentially taught myself because I was raised, to believe something, but it doesn't mean that I believed it. You know, everybody comes from different families and everybody comes from different beliefs. You may go against the grain with what your parents inherently believed in because you may not agree with what they believed in. I am one of them. I didn't agree with certain things that was told to me in my youthful years. I did not agree with it. And because I didn't agree with it, when I was in relationships, I treated people with respect. Even when they disrespected me, I treated them with consistent respect. But I come to learn that my codependency was what kept me attached to these people. My codependency was what kept me in a situation with someone who was mistreating me, with someone who was disrespecting me, with someone who was projecting onto me. And I took on the responsibility of trying to heal that person. And granted, I may have done it on my own because I felt that, if I just show this person more love and I just say, hey, let me just try to show you that, we're not all the same. And I stopped doing that shit a long time ago. But that was the position that I was in. And I was disgruntled when I saw the video because it's like, you are generalizing us. You're generalizing us. And if we got to, let's take it up a notch for a second. Let's calculate. There's 7 billion people on this planet. All right. And I mentioned this in my live this past week. 7 billion people on this planet. And let's just say, for argument's sake, 2.5 billion people, okay, of those people are women. 2.5 billion of those people are women. For someone to sit there and say women are like this and women are like that, listen, 7 billion people, 2.5 billion people. I don't really think you've gone through all of them to really sit there and say that as a fact. But I did notice that a lot of men agreed with them. And clearly, these are men who have experienced these types of females. Now, what we got to understand is that, yes, we are female species. We are. But now you have to break it down. We all fall under different categories. We all fall under different categories. And it just so happens that when a lot of men, and I love you guys, don't get me wrong, but when a lot of men come across really shitty females, then they want to sit there and categorize us. Well, y'all are like this and y'all are like that, which in turn, again, I end up having to pay for something that your ex did to you, that your mother did to you, or whatever female role model you had in your life or female that you've had in your life as a relationship. I end up paying for things and not given a fair chance, not given a proper chance. Then your actions project onto me and it makes me become someone I don't want to become, or turn to actions that I don't want to, that I never wanted to do in the first place. Eric, I have a problem with victim shaming. You tell people you were abused, they say he was or she was having a bad day. That's so invalidating. And something, it's because people don't understand. People were only seeing the good things that you guys were putting out there. Okay? Which is why a lot of people find it hard to believe that people were victims of abuse. Or they put the, how are you a victim? Did they ever put their hands on you? A lot of the time that's what people say. The first thing they say, did they ever put their hands on you? Abuse is not physical. It's not just physical. It is not just physical. There's verbal abuse, there's emotional abuse, there is psychological abuse. Okay? And in some cases, there's SA. There are different forms of abuse. So when people sit there and say, well, I find it hard to believe that you were abused because we saw how much you guys were in love. We saw all the good times. You're not going to sit there and put out stuff of the person who was disrespecting you in your relationship, cursing you out, putting their hands on you, making you feel less of a woman, making you feel less of a man. You're not putting that stuff on social media. You're not putting that stuff on social media. And the reason you're not putting that stuff on social media is simply because you were not only traumatically bonded to this person, but you actually, in your relationship, felt that these were punishments towards you because of something you had done wrong, which was deflected onto you. I mentioned, I think I mentioned it in I have to upload the podcast version that I did. I mentioned it in betrayal trauma. Betrayal trauma. I tell you guys, when I mention things, please do research on it. Look it up. Okay? Betrayal trauma. This is a trauma that was instilled in a lot of people since childhood. And I'm not getting on anyone's parents. I'm not sitting here saying that your parents weren't anything, or your parents were narcissists. I'm not here to diagnose. I am not here to call anyone out. What I'm here is to speak on issues that a lot of people don't want to speak on because either they're uncomfortable about speaking about it, they don't want to be re-triggered, they don't want to go back to what it was. But these are the facts. These are the facts. And if you grew up, betrayal trauma is pretty much a defense. It creates a defense mechanism. Betrayal trauma is issued at a very young age by people who were your caregivers or people who you trusted as a young child. Okay. And throughout your life, because you were children, and this goes for anyone who is trying to understand why, because this explains the whys. This explains when people say, why did you stay? Why did you stay? Why did you stay? Why don't you get the hell out of my face? Okay. That's usually my response. Betrayal trauma sticks with you. And even if you went and suppressed it, you suppressed it. Let's say you moved out of your house when you were 18 years old and you suppressed all of it. It does not matter because that comes back and it creeps up on you. So if you are a victim of the betrayal trauma, you have taken in the betrayals against you since you were kids because you were not old enough to fend for yourself. So because you weren't old enough to fend for yourself, you weren't old enough to say, you know something, I'm 5 years old. I'm going to go out there and get a job and pay my own rent and do what I do and get the hell out of this house and emancipate myself. Ain't no 5-year-old doing that. No 5-year-old is going to be able to do that. So you sit and deal. Throw it to the back of your head. Another trauma. Throw it to the back of your head. Another betrayal. Throw it to the back of your head. Okay? And are you okay? I told you need to get Claritin. But you throw all of that to the back of your head. A lot of codependents suffer betrayal trauma. Okay? A lot of codependents suffer betrayal trauma. You throw, hi Kareem, how are you, sweetheart? You throw it to the back of your head, and then what you end up doing is essentially you end up dealing with the kind of relationships where if you're betrayed in those relationships, listen, everyone is different. I personally cannot, if I am coherent and I am well aware that someone is betraying me, I am not for it. I'm not for it. I will not deal with it, which is why a lot of people who have been in my life felt the need to gaslight me. They felt the need because you see, the manipulators need to manipulate people because they know you're smart and because they know that if they don't manipulate you, it's not going to go in their favor. It's not going to go in their favor. So rather than me telling you the truth, rather than me saying, something, matter of fact, what is the movie? What is the movie we're watching right now on Netflix? We're watching a movie on Netflix. We had to pause it because I had to do a live. But it's a perfect, and I want you guys to watch it if you have the chance. Watch it. It's called Caring Adults. Loving Adults. Loving Adults. It's a foreign film, but it's dubbed in English, so you can understand everything. But this, if you guys can, even over the weekend, if you can, it's called Loving Adults. It's on Netflix. Okay. Long story short, married couple, husband is cheating on the wife. She walked in on stuff going on. Okay. I'm not trying to give too much of it away. She walked in on stuff going on. But the one thing she asked him was, are you seeing someone else? Are you cheating on me? Mind you, she already witnessed it. And he told her no. No, no. We just, you know what he gave her? He was giving her the what is it? The speech. He was giving her the speech. Maybe we need time apart because you got a lot on your plate, I got a lot on my plate, and it's just this and it's that, giving all of this BS instead of just saying, listen, I want to have a divorce because I'm dealing with somebody else. I want to start a new life with someone else. They'll give you the speech of, listen, I mean, I don't make you happy. I know I don't make you happy. And, I'm not happy. So it really makes better sense if, we just kind of separate or, listen, I got a lot going on right now. And they do the hand gestures. I got a lot going on up in here. It's like you look ignorant. You look ignorant. But that's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. They'll make up excuses. And the reason being, one, a married man, because it's a married man. Chick is dealing with a married man. Okay? And mind you, their affair was going on a lot longer.
The other one is the too, where you said that annoys you. With the woman that cheats on her husband. Well, they were both cheating. It's another foreign film with the woman.
Oh, yeah. Well, put it if you remember it. Yeah, it annoys me because it's just like I get easily annoyed, guys. I'm sorry, I get easily annoyed. Definitely watch it, guys. Watch the movie. It's, and it'll give you that. But she asked him clear as day. She's like, "Oh, are you?" He said no, straight to her face. No, no. But giving her that look like, "Why would I do that to you?" No, no. Especially if you walk in on them actually cheating, and maybe they don't see you, but you saw them, and she kept a straight face. And you know what's interesting? That chick looked at the wife dead in her face because she was dying for that marriage to end. And that's the thing. These are the kind of females. These are the kind of females. Narcissistic females, selfish females, self-serving females, okay, will cheat on you or cheat with you. Okay? Cheat on you or cheat with you. And the reason they go after married men or married women, whatever your preference is, the reason why they do these things is because they get the benefits of your partner. They get the benefits of cheating on you with someone else. That other person is giving them perks and supply, and they don't have to have the responsibility to uphold a relationship. But you look at it, they win either way in their mind, because if I don't get to take you away from your wife or whomever, if they're not the jealous type, if they're not the possessive type, because you have possessive types, but if I don't take you away from your wife, or if I don't take you, away from your girlfriend or what have you, then I could still get the benefits from you. I get sex, I can get money, I can get jewelry, I can get all types of stuff. And if I want to be a real B about it, then I can threaten to go to your wife. I can threaten to go to your girlfriend. I can threaten to do all of these things. And so you don't want to lose your wife because you're married. And that means that if you get divorced, more than likely because of your infidelities, that's happy shit. Okay. But regardless of it, this is their mentality. This is their mentality. They're not interested in love. They're not interested in being loved. Narcissistic females are not interested in being loved. They want to be admired. They want to be worshiped. They don't even want to be valued because they don't even have any kind of self-love, any kind of self-value. They want the perks but not the responsibility. Hold on one second. China doll, I cut a toxic friend off for victim shaming me. When I would tell him things, he would tell me to do illegal stuff to protect myself. And when I decline, he would say that I like being stalked, etc. Here's the thing. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. All right. And the reason I'm giving the benefit of the doubt because you do have victims who are not taking the necessary steps because for some reason the attention being put on them is validating them, which is often why victims wonder, well, why haven't they tried to hoover me? Why haven't they tried to come back? You have victims who go no contact, but sometimes it's not for the reasons that we would go no contact. They go no contact because now they're trying to manipulate a manipulated situation, and they're trying to get the person to break no contact in efforts to try to reach out to them. At the end of the day, you have to do what's necessary to protect yourself. Okay? Illegal things, no, I don't condone that. I'm not saying do that. But you have to do what's necessary to protect yourself. Going no contact is number one on the list. You go anywhere when you're talking about narcissistic abuse, when you're talking about discarding a narcissist or being discarded by one, it's very important that you go no contact. It helps you to detach from the situation. Going no contact may be very hard. It may be, you may feel like you might not be able to do it. You might not be able to proceed with it, but it's extremely important. It's important to your mental health. It's important to your peace of mind. Okay? Because you need to have a level head. You need to be clear-minded when it comes to handling the situation. If you don't go no contact and you're still involved in the situation, knowing that this whole toxic mess, because you're going to be entangled in all of this, you're not going to be able to effectively gain clarity and release yourself from the situation. Staying in contact with the abuser, and it limited contact, of course, if you have children, but staying in contact with the abuser would be redundant. If that is the case, that you're going to stay in contact with the abuser, then it makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense because it's pretty much inviting that in. This is why no contact is extremely important. But everyone has to do what is necessary to protect themselves in a legal manner, of course. And at the end of the day, when people, because everybody's going to have an opinion, everyone's going to have an opinion on any and everything. Okay. Everyone's going to say something, but this is your life. This is your situation. So you have to deal with it accordingly, to what best fits you. Because anybody can sit there and say, oh, that would have been me. I would have done this and I would have done that or whatever. But something, anybody can say anything, but not know how to handle the situation until it does happen to them. He wanted me to pull my gun on him instead of going to the police. Now, if you're going to the police, listen, the gun comes after. Okay? I'm serious. Because if you go to the police, you do everything that you're supposed to do. It is your constitutional right, clearly, but you did everything you were supposed to do. If this person crosses the boundary as far as your home is concerned, you have every right. I told you, when I get my house, violators, trespassers will be shot on the premises. I don't play when it comes to my son. I do not play when it comes to that. Okay. It is my right. If I own a home as a homeowner, it is my right to protect my home. And however, whatever state you're in, your state allows you to have, to carry a concealed weapon or, whatever the case may be. That is like worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, an effort to protect yourself. If that person is not posing an immediate threat, a physical threat to you, if they're not posing any form of a threat, then it's not necessary. But if you do everything you're supposed to do based on going to the police and getting a report and doing everything by the book, that is like your safety net. That is your safety net. One second, guys. And the why they saying happy birthday to you? Your birthday was like a month ago.
Let me shine for it. Jeez.
Hey, listen, listen,
A little.
listen.
A little.
Okay.
Just a little. Sheesh.
Almost for a second thinking I forgot your birthday. I'm like, wait. That's why I'm looking. I'm like, why are they saying happy birthday to her? But as I was saying, with regards to female narcissists, this affects not only men, but this affects women too. It affects women on a very high level, especially if you're dealing with a man who, who was raised by a narcissist. I mean, clearly, if his mom is a narcissist or very narcissistic person or carries narcissistic traits, you're dealing with someone who is going to project a lot of his trauma onto you. But looking at how society is now, because now you have women that are all about what you can do for me, what you contribute. A man, I saw a video earlier today when a man said, when they ask women, what do you bring to the table? And you had women that were, in my opinion, giving very ignorant answers, and then you had women that were very defensive, like, oh, what kind of a question is that? Or, clearly the same answer that a lot of women say, oh, I bring, I am the table, or whatever the case may be. Listen, at the end of the day, being with someone, especially if you're dealing with a woman, we're supposed to be the nurturers, we're supposed to be the sensitive ones, we're supposed to be the emotional ones, okay? This is based on what society has projected, because pretty much how it is. This is based on what society has projected. But if you notice, a lot of today's modern women, they're not all doing that. They're not doing the old fashioned stuff. They're not sitting there being, it's like, you have to earn my nurturing, you have to earn my empathy, my compassion. All of these things, you have to earn it. And time is money. So clearly, if that's the kind of female you're coming across, or that's the kind of vibe you're coming across, you're not going to get empathy, genuine empathy. You're not going to do that. I was watching another video where this guy was reading, because he's proactive. He advocates for a lot of men. And he was reading a text message where this guy was testing his girlfriend. And he texted her, normal text, normal day. She's, explaining to him, oh yeah, I got my dream job. I got the raise, blah, blah, blah. I'm making way more money now. So he decided to test his girlfriend, see where her head is at. So he's telling her, okay, great. You got this job. You're making way more money now. So now I can quit my job and focus on my mental health, because I am really, really stressed out. So the girlfriend's response, which, it throws you for a loop, because she's like, mental health problems. I mean, what are you talking about? I didn't know. So it sounded like she was concerned. It sounded like she was concerned about him. But it took a complete turn where she started to invalidate him. She was invalidating him completely. He's like, look, I just need some time to clear my mental health and then find a better job. And her thing was, I'm not supporting you. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. She's just throwing it and throwing it and throwing it. Mind you, this was her boyfriend. I don't know for how many years, but this was her boyfriend. And her mannerisms, how she responded, the things that she said, so invalidating, that he told her, when you get home, pack up your stuff and get out of my house. Because this is what he says: I was going to ask you to marry me. I was going to propose to you. He wasn't going to give up his job. He made very good money working where he worked at, but he was testing her. See, this is how they also expose themselves. A female narcissist, a narcissistic female, will expose themselves. They will expose themselves based under certain circumstances. When they say times are rough, see who's going to be there for you. See who's going to have your back. And when he told her that he was going to propose to her, but now it's not going to happen, her response to him was, "Oh, laughing out loud, baby, I knew you were playing." Ha ha, with the little laughing faces. When you put a stone under pressure, okay? When you put a stone under pressure, it's gonna do one of two things. It's either gonna crack into thousands of pieces or it's gonna turn into a diamond. But you gotta figure that one out. You have to figure that one out. Okay, which is why I tell people who have been through abusive relationships, healing is important. Trauma healing is important. Therapy is important. Getting the help you need is important. Because at the end of the day, you understand that not every woman is alike. Not every woman is going to be like your ex. Not every woman is going to be like your ex-wife, your ex-girlfriend, your baby mother, your own mother. Not everyone's going to be like them. But you need to know how to discern so that way you don't project onto the wrong one. That way you don't end up screwing things up, because victims screw things up too, guys. Okay? Victims of abuse do end up screwing things up for themselves too, simply because they haven't done the work that they need to do. The narc and the female narc he left me for is fighting hard to stop my spousal and child support. They're living off of loans and credit cards. That's simply because they're very irresponsible. A lot of them are very, very irresponsible, and they want to paint this picture for everyone on the outside to see. They want to paint this picture. Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, we're getting money. Yeah, we're going places. We're buying things. They do all of these things, but yet they're writing checks that their asses can't cash. They write checks that they cannot cash. Okay. Narcissists are notoriously known for putting themselves into debt. They will put themselves into severe debt. And this is all because they want to impress. They want to impress people because they want to outdo people. They want to one up people. That's their MO. Which is why, again, victims always, it's the same thing, common questions, but they look like they're having, they're having the time of their life. They're having a ball. I mean, did I not mean anything to them? Something. I'm going to be 110% honest with you, and that's the only way to keep it. No, you did not mean anything to them. But neither does the next person, nor did the last person. You don't mean anything to them. You are a source of supply. You are a source of supply in their eyes. You can give them compassion, empathy, nurturing, love, sympathy, emotions. You can give them financial stability. You can give them everything. You can give them everything. And what do you get in return? What have you given to them? And what have you gotten in return? What have you gotten in return? How long were you sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, just waiting for an inkling of that person to just come back? That person that you fell in love with. You're just sitting there waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the day to come that you're going to change. I'm waiting for the day to come that you're going to be that person, that I fell in love with, that person that my face, my eyes, everything about me lit up when I saw that you would call me on the phone. And you will continuously wait, and you will continuously sit there. And the problem with it is that a lot of victims, a lot of people take it personal. I took it personal. I took it personal. In any of my relationships, I took it personal. This person is being hurtful and demeaning and disrespectful towards me. I did something wrong. This person put their hands on me. I did something wrong. This person cheated on me. I did something wrong. I did something wrong. This person was talking to other females. I did something wrong. It was always me. I'm not taking the blame anymore. I'm not sitting here taking the blame for anybody. And I held each and every one of them accountable for their own actions. I took accountability for myself. I'm holding them accountable for theirs. So whenever the time came that I would, go places or do things, if that person is having a shitty day, what does your shitty day have to do with me? Why are you talking to me that way? You're having a crappy day? Okay, well, then you know something? We'll talk when you're not having a crappy day. Because I'm pretty sure when they were having crappy days, you were trying to put a smile on their face. You were trying to make them feel good. You were trying to, lighten the mood. And the more you try to do that, the more annoyed they got. So you weren't winning it either way you went. You weren't winning, which is why I say, because you see, when I see a lot of these contents, these videos, and I listen to men and I listen to how things are, I wasn't there to witness what happened between you and your girl. But at the end of the day, you could be just as well be a narcissist and you are smearing that person's name. So I don't know. And I'm not going to sit here and claim that I do. She asked me if I missed her. I told her I missed the woman I thought you were. Yeah, because that's exactly how you felt. That's how I felt. That's how a lot of people felt. We missed the people we thought they were. And even if you dealt with, because again, guys, I want you to be completely understanding of it. But regardless, toxicity is toxicity. Abuse is abuse, no matter or whether they're a narcissist or not. When you're dealing with someone who has severe mental issues, who have severe mental illnesses, you have to consider this person, these people have not done anything. There's no pros and cons in this situation. This person, these people have not done anything to do the work, have not done anything to get better, have not done anything to try to address their problems. There's no pros there. There's nothing but cons. There's nothing but cons in that. Keep exposing dusty narcs. Staying single until feeling healed. Best way to move forward and find the right person. And oftentimes, it's when you're truly healed, when you're fully healed, that you don't even have to find the person. The person may just find you. The person may just find you. God orchestrates things in our lives. He puts things together for us to, come across certain people or, be in other people. I mean, he works in his own way. But it's important to just focus on healing. It's important to focus on just doing what you need to do for you. There's one thing I agreed on with the videos that I watched from this other content creator when he said, if you don't have your life in order financially, emotionally, you got to have everything in order. If you don't have it in order, you have no business being in a relationship, nor do you have any business attempting to start one. But someone who is of narcissistic nature is very immature, right? They're very immature. They have the mental capacity of, of infants, not infants. I'm gonna go up some toddlers, maybe 6, 7, 8 years old. They have the mental capacity of a kid. So if they're like this, why try to get into a relationship? Why fake the funk? Why pretend? Why pretend? And then on top of everything, after everything they have done, see, people tend to look at us like, and by us I mean the community, victims of, you know, any form of abuse, because abusive tactics, abusive behavior is still abuse. And people tend to look at us and think that, oh, well, we're the bitter betties. We're like so damn bitter because the person broke up with us, and you're not over it, you're bitter and this and that. And again, I tell people to shut the fuck up, because I'm going to tell you something. Okay, breaking up with someone, even if, listen, if they broke up with you but they were honest with you, if they broke up with you and they weren't putting full blame on you, because that's what makes it different with between a regular breakup and I say regular because it's, it is what it is, and a narcissistic discard. A narcissistic discard is where you know, the relationship is where you take the full blame. You take the full blame, guys, of all the shitty things that happened in your relationship. You take the blame for them having bad days. You take the blame for them not being able to get things their way. You take the blame for them cheating on you. You take the blame for them lying to you. You're taking the blame for all of this stuff. Okay? You're taking the blame for all of this stuff. And then when the discard happens, they're gaslighting you. They're telling you, oh, I'm not happy, or they're making you feel like you're inadequate. You know, it's just not doing it for me. You're boring. You're this, you're that, or whatever the case may be, whatever bullshit excuse they gave you. And then when people ask, oh, well, what happened? I thought you guys were happy. I thought you were good. I thought you were this. I thought you were that. They're telling other people the reason things ended was because of your controlling ways, your paranoia, your trust issues, you not being able to control, the entire situation. You. It's all you. They could never do no wrong. So you have taken accountability for two people inside this entire freaking dynamic, and people on the outside who clearly are either doing it themselves, having it done to them, or just oblivious and don't understand what the hell it entails, are sitting here thinking, talking, projecting, oh, you're bitter. Just get over it. Just move on. Man, you can me with that, okay? Seriously. I'm trying to calm down with my language. I'm very vocal in a very harsh way. Mm, Hold on a second. But we have to own what we did in the situation. We allowed them to do it. But that's because our empathic spirits, we thought they would change. You figured each and every time they got nasty with you, each and every time they got hurtful, they got brutal. And let's face facts, guys. And I'm probably gonna say to the point that, some people may feel some kind of way about it, but I'm not here to sugarcoat anything, and I'm not here to enable anything either. But as much as we gave more compassion, gave more empathy, tried harder, tried to seek more approval, try to do all of these things. The fact of the matter is that a lot of us were also insecure. Insecure like a motherfucker, okay? And it's all right to admit that. It's all right to admit that. In fact, anyone who tries to sit here and tell me, oh, well, no, I'm not, I was never insecure. If you were never insecure, you wouldn't have stayed in the relationship as long as you did. And that's a fact. And anybody who knows me knows that it's called tough love. It's not about pride, it's not about ego. That's their issue. That's what they're about. Okay? It's called humility. And it's okay to admit, it is okay to admit that insecurity played a very big role. I, coming from a codependent background, was very insecure. Very insecure. But I did not let my insecurity drive me crazy. If you noticed, their insecurities, their paranoia push them over the edge because they're looking at you like you're out to get me. You're out to do something. They've looked at you like you were the enemy. And their end game is, I have to hurt you before I ever give you the chance to hurt me. That's their whole thing. I'll hurt you before you hurt me. I'll leave you before you leave me. I will I will leave you before you leave me. Translates to, I know that I'm treating you like crap. I know that I'm giving you the bare minimum. I know that I'm doing all of these things. And it's only a matter of time until the other shoe drops. It's only a matter of time until you see what it is that I am doing, until you see what it is that I have planned and what I have in stored. And by that time, hopefully I will have been long gone, or hopefully I would have deconstructed you so much to the point that you don't have the ability to even try to muster up the strength. This gives them full control. As long as they have full control of the narrative, as long as they can hold on to whatever it is, whatever control, those puppet strings, they're safe, they're fine, they're good. Hold on a second. The same person you're trying to build a life with and wanting to become your spouse is plotting to do you dirty, and they get off on it. Hi, Cicely. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, absolutely right, Ty. Oh, Stella, make no doubt about it. If you were dealing with someone, a narcissist is known to try to recycle exes, especially if they're in between supply. They are known to, maintain contact with their exes or people that they've just dealt with, or even jump offs, like people that they've just, friends with benefits. You know what I'm saying? They always keep these connections if in the event they need to utilize them again. So even if in the interim, which I every situation is different, but I wouldn't be surprised that in the interim of you dating them, even in the courting stage, they may have still been dabbling with their ex. They may have been dabbling with somebody that they, had a friends with benefits, or, another source of supply. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. And if they say that they're friends with exes, I mean, listen, y'all already know how I feel about that, man. I can be cool with someone that I either messed with or I dated or whatever the case may be, which means that no, we're not, doing each other's hair, and pillow talking, and or they're coming over for drinks and sitting in my apartment, and no, me being cool is like, hey, if I see you in the streets, oh hey, how you doing? Whatever. Keep it moving. I don't befriend exes. I don't. I see no need to do that. Like I don't understand why people do it. People are like, oh well, what's wrong with being friends with your ex? If you were really truly genuinely friends, why would you have broken up? I mean, let's be realistic. It makes absolutely no sense. And I'm not saying, like, I know people got kids. I know people got kids. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Trust and believe. I get it. But if you have children, you have to have boundaries. You have to have boundaries, because the minute you start giving the wrong impression is the minute that the other person starts to pick up certain things and signals get crossed and shit happens. I personally do not find it feasible. I don't find it necessary, especially if you don't have children with an ex. But if you do have children with an ex, listen, there's a difference between being cordial, cordial, being nice, being communicative with an ex. But you're not going to sit here and tell me, oh, well, me and my ex are just friends. Okay, you're just friends. And then all of a sudden, this situation happens and boom, Y'all are getting real chummy over there. Really, really chummy at the end. Oh, so now this I'm no longer in the picture, and you and this person are all of a sudden BFFs, and you just, because the ex never left the picture, man. They never left the picture. Okay. Anybody, at any rate, I date someone. I can't date someone who says they're friends with their ex. I won't date someone who says they're friends with their ex. And I'm keeping that 100. I will not date someone who's friends with their ex. That is my preference. That is what I choose. That is how it's going to be for me. So, you want to stay friends with your ex? That's perfectly fine. You can stay friends with your ex. Big up. I ain't dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. So I can go through whatever I go through after you put me through all of this, and then all of a sudden, boom, your ex is being put on the same pedestal. Your ex is being put on the same pedestal that you ripped me off of. Nah, man, I'm good on that one. I have a child with him, and I won't go further than a business. A business. There you go. Business. What do you say? Business high. There you go. There you go. There's nothing wrong with being cordial. There is nothing. Me and my child's father are very cordial. Again, we had a rocky past, a very rocky past. You know, we been separated for years, but we're cordial with one another. We're cordial with one another. We have sat, we have spoken, we have forgiven on certain things. We have done what we need to do because we're just doing what we need to do as parents for our child. That is it. That is it. And I don't go running to my ex. I don't go running to him, sitting there pillow talking about this is what happened and that's what happened and oh my god and this and that, and let me try to make that person jealous by posting up pictures or going on your social media, because that's exactly what they do. They go back around, and they could be toying with the ex. They could be using the ex to make you jealous. I'm not getting in the mix of that BS. I am not doing it. So that is my preference. I am not dealing with someone who is friends with their ex. Plain and simple. Simply like when someone's preference is not to deal with a single mother. It's my preference. I don't want to be with a woman who has children. Hey, that's your preference. I'm not going to sit here and judge you on it. That's what you want. That's what you want. There are plenty of single women out there. By all means, have fun with it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Only strictly talk about our child. That's it. Can't give them more. They're insane. Yeah. Because especially if you're dealing with a narcissistic ex, you're dealing with the kind of ex that first of all never really let you go. Okay. They never want to see you happy. They don't want to see you with anybody else because they always want, excuse me, they always want you to be available for them. They always want you to be available for them. That is the whole point of the trauma bond. The trauma bond, they rely on the trauma bond to keep you put, even while they're out there dealing with new supply, even while they're out there sleeping around or doing whatever. The trauma bond is what keeps you put. These are the people who held your heart in their hands, and they did some real grimy, hurtful, disturbing things. They deflected onto you. They try to emasculate you. They try to bring you down. They try to tear down your confidence. They try to make you feel inadequate, make you feel like you were the problem. You were the reason why they did all the things that they did. So you're sitting there now beating yourself up about a situation that, in hindsight, 2020 hindsight, wasn't your problem. But because you internalize that while they're out there screwing with Tom, Dick, and Harry, or, Betty, Amy, and Sue, while they're out there doing all that stuff, you're sitting in your dark, dusty corner beating yourself up about a relationship that went downhill, and then come to find out it really wasn't your fault. It wasn't you, it was them. But the problem is that a lot of people don't find that out right away. They don't find that out because they're too busy being sucked back in with the hoovering. They're too busy going and repeating the cycles over and over and over again. They never have time to find out the actual truth. Tell you, people are crazy. Gray rocking, yes. Anyone who has children with a narcissistic individual, gray rock is your best bet to go. You do not respond to their messages. You do not entertain. You do not engage in any kind of communication that has absolutely nothing to do with your children. And if you have grown children, and this is the thing that kills me most, if you have grown children that they're old enough to have their cell phone, tell them to call the kid's phone. They don't need to be calling your phone. Unless there's an actual severe emergency, they do not need to be calling your phone. They can call your kid's phone. And nowadays, as parents, my son is 15 years old. He has his cell phone. He has a cell phone. He has it because you know something? I need to stay in touch with him when he's with his dad and vice versa. He has it, and you know what? I can track him. That's but at the end of the day, when it boils down to, especially if you have a very strained relationship with them, if it has nothing to do with your kids, then you have nothing to talk about. And if your kids are old enough to have a cell phone, why are you calling my phone? They have their phone. You can call them. Well, we all know that a narcissistic co parent is not about the kids. They're not about the kids. They're about knowing what the hell's going on in your life, who you are, who you're dating, what you're doing. Okay. And if you got old enough kids who go back and forth between houses, you better believe they're asking your kids what's going on at home. Who's the new person that daddy's with? Who's the new person that mommy's with? What do they do? Where did they go? You understand? Man, listen. Listen. He also his new supply after breakup, he was hiding it to try and keep me on the back burner. Now I'm finding out all about the lies. And the crazy part is, and I want to, and you know something, keep exposing. I want to explain something too, because I encourage victims of domestic abuse. And like, listen, people could tell me what they want to tell me, but again, victims of domestic abuse. First of all, narcissistic abuse is a form of domestic abuse, by the way. In case no one really understood that, that's domestic abuse, because narcissistic abuse really happens with people that you have a relationship with. Okay, whether friends, family, lovers, what have you. Okay, but I often will not go against the grain with victims of domestic abuse, domestic violence, doing these things in effort to safely get away from an abuser. I tell them, do what you have to do. Do what you have to do. Okay? If these people are willingly lying to you because they're just selfish, then that is their problem. But if you are doing it because it's a matter of your safety, it's a matter of your children's safety, it's a matter of mental health and peace of mind, hey, do what you have to do. Simple as that. China doll, I'm blessed because the narc discarded my son as well. And you know something? He did you and your son a favor. Did you and your son a favor, giving you the opportunity to start over again with your child, to give your child the life that they deserve. Because a narcissistic parent will not, they'll pose it for the world, guys. They'll sit there and pose it for the world. Look at me and my kid, look at me and my kids. Oh, constant pictures. Oh, let me show everybody how much I love my kids. You don't have to do all of that, but they try so hard because they want to give this impression that they're the world's greatest parents. Okay? The fact of the matter is that all the selfies in the world, all the pictures on their social media is nothing. That pales in comparison to what goes on at home. And what generally goes on at home, they have no kind of connection with the kids. None. They're not connected with their kids. They're not sitting there having mommy and daughter time, or mommy and son time, or vice versa, daddy and daughter, daddy and son. They're not doing that. Okay. Wouldn't be surprised if they talk to their children as if they're, you know, kids from the streets. They don't have an emotional connection with their kids. Their primary focus is to be cool, be cool in everyone else's eyes. So they have to show off that they're the world's greatest parents to everyone for fear of being judged, being criticized. And they could do all of this, jumping through hoops, this whole entire circus. But the reality of it is at home. This is why narcissists, when they fight custody battles, they're not fighting for the kids. They're not fighting for the kids. When they're taking the other parent to child support, even though that parent is supporting that child, even though that parent is taking care of that child, okay? They're doing it to hurt the other parent. They're not doing it for the kids. The kids are their meal ticket. The kids are their source of supply. And when the kids reach a certain age, okay, when they reach a certain age, they will be taking on responsibilities at a very young age. They will be parentifying. They will basically be taking on the responsibilities of the narcissistic parents. And the narcissistic parents will become the child, and the child will become the parental figure. The narcissistic parent will be the child's responsibility. So anything that narcissistic parent wants, anything, they will send the child to do it. Get me this, do that. Take care of your brothers. Do your sister's homework. Help your brother do this. Feed the babies. Do whatever it is. That is what the child or children will be doing. And oftentimes, if there's more than one child, it's usually the oldest child that will take on the responsibilities of what the narcissistic parent is supposed to be doing. But I guarantee you, if it comes to an event, if it comes to a place where there are going to be a lot of people, there are going to be cameras, there are going to be, video recording, whatever. Oh, they're the world's greatest parents. I love my kids. You see, I take care of my kids. I do everything for my kids. It's all me, me, me. But the reality of it is that they got their kids at home doing all of the things that they should be doing. They will use their kids as pawns. They will basically to hurt the other parent, or if they're feeling bitter, or if they're feeling lonely, or if they feel like, oh, you know what, I haven't messed with you in a while. I haven't screwed with your head in a while. So let me just kind of, screw up your day. They'll do things to try to mess up your day. You could be having a good day and say, Lord, I'm going to have a good day today and nothing's going to stop me. They have like a sixth sense. They'll try to do something to mess up your day, something to ruin an occasion for you, to ruin a moment for you. Unfortunately, that's how it is. That is how it is. And again, they will run people if you're trying to date again, if you're trying to, start a new relationship, if you're trying to do it, they will run people out of your life. They will cause havoc, they will cause drama. I mean, look at today's society. A lot of today's society is just it is just so bad. It's so bad. Where you have people, first of all, not everybody should have a freaking social media account. Not everyone should have a social media account. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I was listening to Candace Owens earlier today, and one of the things that she pointed out was, people ask, well, why aren't you following everyone who follows you, or so forth and so on? And she says, my thing is, you know, will what you do bring value to my life? Will what you do bring value to my life? There are certain content that people watch. There's certain content that people create, you know, and I find that to be a very good point, But looking at today's society, look at social media. Not everyone deserves a social media account. And I'm just saying it like it is. You have people who do the most, they do the most for likes. You have people who exploit their children for money, for likes, knowing that there are predators online. We were just having this conversation not that long ago. There are predators online, okay? And now with social media, there are ways that people can save photos, ways that people can save videos, okay? And then you got the ones who are the dun that they put their locations. Like, what is wrong with people? Seriously, what is wrong with people? Society has really taken a turn for the worse, and this is like this is the narcissistic generation. This is the narcissistic. It's just with social media, with the ability to commit infidelity, because social media didn't start that. Social media didn't start the whole process, the whole concept of infidelity, but it damn sure heightened it. It damn sure heightened it. And if you notice, it's getting worse and worse and worse. I remember when Instagram first came out. Instagram, when it first came out, like that was like what, back in 2011, 2012, I think. When it first came out, all it was putting up pictures. That's it. That's all it was about. It was putting up pictures. And it was finally a website where it was an app that you can just take pictures of events in your life, take pictures of moments, and just put it up, maybe advertise, whatever the case may be. Then it went from that to adding DMs. Oh, to give you the ability to connect and socialize with everyone. Really? Really? And then I remember there was a feature on it where you could see, like, the people you follow, you can see the content that they like. So if you like someone else's photos, your activity. They removed that one. They removed that because I'm pretty sure it was causing a lot of problems.
Because it would be like you're stalking them and then following where they're going.
Well, no, but it's a lot of problems because I don't really think if you got a husband, you want to see the like the whole.
GPSing about.
Just GPSing. Do you really? You're seeing what your husband's activity is, where you see, looking at the photos were this big in the activity thing, but you're like, okay, what the hell is this person liking? And boom, you click on it, and you got a big butt right in front of your face. Like, okay, so this is what you do. It causes a lot of problems. Social media did not start infidelity. Did not start it.
They're not on internet options. I see they're just
I
internet.
ain't got time for all that shit because I got to start looking through your stuff to see what the hell you're doing, and I shouldn't even be with you. I never had to do that. I never had to do that. But look at how social media is getting. Now they have websites where married people can go and cheat. They have websites where married people can go and cheat. Hi, Andrea. Hi, sweetheart. I never felt the need to have, like, because I mean I'm rarely on like that now. Like I'm rarely on Facebook like that. My personal page. I go to TikTok. I mean, I no, not just really just straight up TikToking, but I watch video. I like to watch funny videos. I like animal videos on TikTok. Okay. I like puppy videos.
Oh my god.
I love that puppy. I want one. There's one video, he's so adorable. He's such a cute little puppy. Oh my gosh. I watch, like, the funny videos. But they have different websites where people can go and cheat on their spouses. They got websites where people can hook up, like if you're in their area. What's that called?
Um.
Not Tinder. It's
Yes, it is Tinder.
No, it's not Tinder though. It's something. It's another one. It's another website. Another. I think another app that people use.
Right?
Grinder. Okay.
I don't even use that shit. Swipe left, swipe right.
I gotta. Oh, Andre, I gotta show it to you. Do you have the?
What, the puppy one?
Yeah. You can put up the link. He's adorable. My gosh, I want a dog. He's adorable. I love him. I love him. I have it on my favorites. I love it. But they have the, the ones where you can meet with people, like if they're in your area. Like, hey, Joe Schmo is a block away from you. You want to hook up? Like, what? What? Seriously? Are we not aware that STDs and AIDS and
Well, that's
all
well,
types of
that's
stuff
like the
is still
Tinder swindler.
floating around?
The Tinder swindler.
That
Remember?
this Tinder, but not Grinder is the one that.
Right, but remember Tinder swindler? She was meeting people. They meet people and they steal from them. So
Listen, I can't. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, keep exposing, when it comes to females, because I've seen, females are more meticulous, and they're very, they could be just as grimy, and it's sad because I've always been one who loves to, which I do, empower women, encourage women, but these are women of my stature. These are women of my peers. These kinds of females that are out here making themselves look like damn fools on the internet, that are out here, you know, committing all these acts. These are not, we're not on the same level. I can't, like, you know, I stop it at probably if you 1989. If you were born at least by 1991. If you weren't born at anytime after that, no, I'm good. I'm good. Not that I have anything against young folk. I don't have anything against young people. I don't. But people of my generation, and I'm not saying all of them because apparently you got a lot of them who can be influenced. But people of my generation, because of the things like we're the last of a dying. I told Amanda, we're the last of a dying breed. We really are. Oh, Ty, it's called Bumble.
yeah, Bumble is
But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been with the man in over going on what 5 years? I don't know. I haven't dated. I haven't done. I don't know. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Keep exposing. We are the last of a dying breed. Anyone who was born in who are millennials. That means people who grew up, who were born in the 80s. We grew up in the 90s. Okay, We grew up in a generation where, man, I could ask someone, do you know what a dial tone is? They might not even know. Me and Amanda were having the conversation.
rotary phone.
What's a rotary phone?
Sex tape. How do you hear the music?
Okay. What's a VHS or a VCR? What's Atari, man? What is Atari? If you can tell me, and you were born after, if you can tell me what an Atari is, hey, I might be able to. I might be able to.
Ask a Gen Z or whatever they call. What is dial up?
That listen. First and foremost, we didn't have internet. We had the AOL discs, right? When you get the free, when you got the free trials, and then half the time when people will call your house, knock you off of the internet.
You do find the sound that AOL used to make and play for them and be like,
Oh yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Exactly. Sega Genesis. I mean, listen. Tell me what Different Strokes was. Can you tell me that? Silver Spoon. Can you tell me that? Family Ties. Can you tell me that? I take it back some more. Three's Company. Can you tell me that? Maud. Can you tell me that? And that was from the friggin' what, the 70s. And I was born in the 80s. We're the last of a dying breed, guys. We are the last of a dying breed. And it's sad because nowadays people are so entitled. People are entitled now. You know, people of this generation are entitled. And it's simply because it's like, oh, I can have anything handed to me. This is why they don't appreciate the things that they have. This is why a lot of people are narcissistic, because of that entitlement. It's that entitlement. And with social media really just pushing it, because again, social media is not the start of narcissism, okay? It's not the start of infidelity, but it is a platform that is utilized for it. Married with children, and married with, that's all I watch. That is all I watch. Married with children, okay? We have married with children. You guys remember TGIF? When they have the shows. Well, I don't know if there was be in other states, but I know it's more so in New York. We had TGIF where we had like a string of shows, Family Matters, Full House, all these, you know, cool shows. It's Andrea, it definitely does. It definitely contributes to it. It contributes to narcissism, it contributes to infidelity, it contributes to, you know, giving people the idea that they're more than what they actually are. And this is basically enabling egos. Social media enables egos. It enables that, you know, to the point where it's, and I'm not saying that people aren't special. I'm not saying you can't be anything you want to be. What I'm saying is, yo, stay in your lane. Know humility, okay? Know how to be humble in a world that have a lot of people who walk with a lot of ego and are willing to demean and devalue just to stay in that position.
Everybody says please and thank you and excuse me.
Yes, Blake says everyone thinks they're a celebrity, and that's true. Everyone thinks that, you know, and I've seen a lot of TikTok videos where I'm like, the hell is this person doing?
What was the one you watching last night? You were like, well, it was a transgender person. And
It was, but it's just
you
it's
were like,
and
you know,
I have
or
nothing, you know what? But again, it's a lot, it's trending. There's,
right. Somebody gets on TikTok or something and they're like, oh, they start getting likes and they're like, their head gets
it was actually there was somebody who was mentioning I forget the name of the transgender, the one who was talking at the women's summit. And you know, it's like this. I personally didn't like how that person attempted to portray women like we are damsel in distress. Like, oh my God, and you know, running in the woods in heels and then falling. Like, first of all, a real woman would know better than put some heels on running in the woods.
weapons.
Okay. I'm throwing on my kicks. I'm not running in the woods with fucking heels on.
Especially
But
if you run in the woods. You have
but anyone who gets, you know, like 100,000 likes or 100,000 followers, or you know, it gasses them up. It gasses them up. And just like what Candace Owens said, what are you doing to put value into my life? See, I put up my social media, my platforms are for this purpose, for this purpose. It's to help people heal. It's to help people who have been inflicted by narcissistic abuse, who have been in abusive relationships, to help spread awareness and share education and be support for others. That is my contribution. But you have people that are just doing the most inane things. And these social media platforms, it's about algorithm. That's all it really is about. So if you got someone who is sitting there eating a Tide Pod for a challenge, they're going to get 200,000 likes and 1.5 million views. But someone who's speaking truth, and this is the thing that kills me the most about this society, about today's society, is that people who speak on truth, people who expose certain things, they're being basically pushed to the bottom of the barrel, while others who are doing the most stupid things on social media are being pushed all the way to the top. It makes no sense. It makes but this generation. This is society. This is what they look for. They look for entertainment. It's about entertainment. Never mind the fact that people who do these stupid challenges are in the hospital, God forbid, die, ingest harmful chemicals, what have you. Never mind any of that. But if it's teaching you something, if it's pushing valuable wisdom, it gets pulled all the way to the bottom. It really does. Thank you. Keep exposing, and something. That's why I tell people just share it. Speak up on it, push it out there, because these videos need to get to people who really need to hear it. Especially every minute, every day, every minute, someone's going through something. Every day, every minute, someone is experiencing abuse. They're experiencing a discard. They're experiencing something, and oftentimes it may get shielded, or it may get delayed, because of the fact that today's society and social media, it's all about what's popping. It's all about what's actually circulating right now. And oftentimes it could be nonsense. It could be things that are just people sitting there watching people do the craziest things. Oh, Blake, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Cooking chicken and night. Oh, and you know what the crazy part about it is? And a lot of these videos, and that's the thing that pisses me off. A lot of these videos wasting food, number one. You see those stupid videos? Like, I've seen them pop up on my Facebook, and I get so pissed off that I want to just rip her hair through the day. I'm not condoning violence, but I'm just saying. Rip her right through the phone, where they sit there and they'll pull out a huge steak. They'll pull out a huge steak and do all kinds of stupid things just to get views. Meantime, that steak could have fed a hungry family. See where my mind is compared to where others are. It's like, what is wrong with you people? Seriously, what is wrong with you people? Then people wonder why I don't want to leave my house. Then they wonder why I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to be around. And I don't get me wrong. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love all the people that I help. And I appreciate you guys. And we all have an experience in common, which is what connected us. And we're going to continue to remain connected. But if you put me out there with people who are doing stupid things, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to do to them what a Latino parent does to their kids when they're doing stupid shit. I'm throwing fucking chancleta up. Listen. No. Instagram should never be a job. And something, if it is, let it be for something useful. Let it be for something useful, something that is beneficial to society. Everyone is so focused, and this is why our mental health system as a whole in the United States is crumbling. It's crumbling. There are so many things going on that people need mental health. They need mental health. They have mental health issues. They have mental issues, mental diseases. They have all these problems. And we over here, the social media is making primary, what their primary concern is focusing on celebrities cheating on each other, getting divorces, focusing on, I don't care who the hell J Lo married. I don't care who she married. I don't care, about the beef and the feuds between rappers and artists. That stuff has been going on for years. I mean, come on. I was in junior high school. I was in the seventh. I was in the seventh grade when Tupac and Biggie were murdered. I was in the seventh grade when we heard the news about both of them. Both of them. And it was a sad time. It was a sad time for us, you know, and because that's when, of course, oh, don't get me started on today's music, because that's when hip hop was, hip hop. Like music was really, really good. I don't know what the hell it is they're playing nowadays. I stick with my music that I
Well,
know.
mumble music.
And good, no, no. And we were just listening to Coolio yesterday. We were listening to Coolio. We were listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know, that's when music was music. I don't know what the hell's going on with the world today, but I do know social media is pushing the most inane BS. I don't care about Kim K. I don't care about the Kardashians. They're not doing anything to help with the mental health awareness. I don't care about them. They're not benefiting my life. They're not paying me for anything. They're not, they're not contributing to me. I care about the mental wellness of people who are going through abuse, going through problems, having relational issues, trying to figure out if they have any kind of personality disorder or any kind of issues. That's my concern. That's what I'm focused on. Oh no, yeah, I know, Blake, but it just the concept of, you know, the the issues at hand. These are things that the media and with the beef and everything, because when it comes to social media, when it comes to the media, there is such a thing as fake media. There's a thing as fake news. There is a thing that, just to hype things up, because a lot of media they need ratings. But my point of it is that these are things that are circulating, and I'm not saying they're not important, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, things that are happening now in this generation, things that are happening now that are just, I can go on TikTok right now, and the first video that I see is going to be a video of either someone doing something really stupid or someone doing something really funny, you know whereas people, yeah, I like funny videos, because even if I'm having a crappy day, I can laugh, I can smile, and it'll make me feel good. And that's fine. That's fine. But when you have people that are just doing things, dangerous things, or doing things for the sake of likes, for the sake of views, I mean, and people who pump their videos with likes and views and attention, they're gassing their head up because, oh crap, I have, 500,000 followers. Okay. Jesus had 12 disciples. Jesus had 12 disciples, and one of them denied him 3 times. The other one betrayed him. Like you understand what I'm saying? It's just, yes, awake now. Today's music has the demonic stuff. It's just, I mean, it's, music, that's a whole nother conversation, which I think I'm just gonna do one of these days. I'll make my live devoted to just, there's like the spiritual aspect of narcissism, because it's a very, very heavy and deep thing. But that's one of the ways that the devil can influence people, is through it's through music. It's through music. Okay, you open portals, you invite people. Certain forms of music invites spirits into your life, into your home. Okay, and people may not want to believe that, and that's fine. To each their own. But these things are these things are real. These things are real. And you know, music back then compared to music now, I mean, I listen, I don't knock anybody. I don't. But I listen to, a lot of old music. I've been listening to a lot of older music. Some people don't believe in hell. That won't stop them from going. Absolutely. Absolutely. I told Amanda yesterday, I said, we're all going to go. We're all going to leave this earth and we are all going to meet with our maker. And when we meet with our maker, we're going to have to answer for the things that we have done in this life, on this earth. We have to answer to him. People can sit here and say, oh, it's not true. It's okay. Well, listen, I'd rather walk around, okay, trying to keep my life in order as best as I can to adhere to what he wants and find out that none of this is true, then walk around and act like none of this is true. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And boom, find out, holy crap, it is true. I like to be safe than sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Pornography, and that's another thing, because when it comes to narcissists, a lot of them they can have bad addictions, pornography being one of them. Pornography is a very addictive industry, for a lot of people. And sex sells. Plain and simple, sex sells, which is why a lot of these, like, especially these women who are, posing online, showing provocative pictures, taking half naked pictures, doing all of these things, it's because it sells. It sells. And oftentimes people are going to get rich off of that, especially the people who do these videos and make these pictures. It's going to sell. Listen, if we're living in someone's dream time, it's more of a nightmare. They need to wake the hell up. I'm sorry. Either way, you don't have to be. I mean, listen, I always, I can't knock someone for believing in what they believe in. I respect everyone wholeheartedly. I respect everyone's beliefs. I respect, I have my own belief. At the end of the day, if the only ones that I cannot be unequally yoked with are people who do witchcraft, who do demonology, who try to conjure spirits and do all this stuff. I can't be involved with people like that. I can't be around people like that. I won't even walk. I passed the botanica one time and I just started walking really fast. I can't be around stuff like that. I cannot be around stuff like that. I don't want anything to latch on to me. I don't want anything coming near me. I don't want anybody's juju, voodoo, hoodoo, goo goo gaga, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't want any of that. I don't. So I have to stay away from people who do stuff like that. People who, get involved in spiritualism and all that stuff. I can't get involved with people like that. I cannot do it. I will not do it. And, you know, I've been spiritually attacked. I've been attacked on a number of occasions. Okay. I have been in my sleep. I just, listen, I don't want to be around people like that. But it doesn't hurt to be a kind person. It doesn't hurt to be a good person. It doesn't hurt to be a generous person. And it doesn't hurt to be a humble person. Because if you don't humble yourself, God, the universe, well, God is the universe, but it's gonna humble you for your own good. And trust me, it's better to humble yourself than the higher power humble you, because he's gonna humble you in ways that it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while for you to come back from it. I'd love to be a part of a production crew that films narcs after dark, like Cheaters, but even better. Yeah, yeah. You could, if you really pay close attention, you go outside, just focus and pay close attention. pay close attention to how people are with one another. If you see it on social media, if you see it, on TV, you can even practice learning it by watching certain shows. You watch shows, you'll be able to see certain attributes, certain things. Like you'll become so super sensitive that you'll be able to pinpoint certain behaviors. Not everyone is a narcissist. We understand that. Not everyone's going to be a narcissist, but the traits, narcissistic traits, okay? Egoism, self-serving behaviors, selfish behaviors, okay? Very one-sided, okay? Very double standard, that's what I was going to say. They walk with double standards, And guys, if you haven't already, anyone who's new to it, but definitely go to my website, because again, I do blogs, and I am I'm almost done with my recent blog that I'm going to be posting up. And if you sign up for the website, it'll notify you when the blog is posted, so you can see it, you can read it. You know, these blogs are meant to help as a guide. They're, just meant to help keep you informed. All right. But, just pay close attention to people's behaviors. They don't have to be a boyfriend. They don't have to be a girlfriend. They can be in your family. They can be in your friend group. Maybe you see your friend is dating someone and they're displaying certain signs, and you just, pay close attention to it. How many people you can help, how many people you can truly, truly help, possibly avoid a serious situation dealing with people like this? A lot. I personally believe COVID was a message from God. We need to treat the world and people differently. If you think about it, look in the Bible. Everything that's transpiring, everything that's transpiring was already written in the Bible. It was already written in the Bible. Okay? So this this virus, yes, it was a wake up call, but it's something that, for those who made it through, for those who survived it, and who were fortunate enough, this teaches people that you need to value what you have in front of you. You need to value the fact that you were given another day to wake up. Okay, that you were given another day to be healthy. You were given the opportunity, because this really made a lot of us self-reflect, where everybody had to stay home. But the downside of it is that this virus also, you know enclosed people in relationships, abusive relationships, okay, marital relationships, family. It basically confined them. So people ended up being in extremely more abusive situations. The divorce rate went up. It's amazing how a virus can do that. But you have to be grateful, be glad that you're still here, and utilize the time to, it doesn't, it takes nothing, not but a minute to help someone else. Okay, because I gone through my emotions by myself throughout my disc after my discard. Even though there were a couple of people who were there for me, but it was something that, it was so hard, and I struggled. I struggled, man. I really, really struggled. And there was a time I was sitting in my bed and I could not stop crying. I was crying uncontrollably, because it just hit me what I had gone through, and it hit me what I was feeling. And part of that, pushed me to want to take my own life, because I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the pain. I couldn't do it anymore. And I had considered it. And, God changed all of that. He changed all of that for me. So, you know, sharing is caring. Pass it on to others, and help create that awareness. Because I know what it feels like to do it alone, and it's painful, and it's scary, and it's cold, and it's dark, and it's just, you feel like you're going crazy. You don't think you're gonna make it out. You almost feel like you're drowning. It's not a pleasant experience. It really isn't. Keep exposing. I think when you have to share a child with them, it breaks you even more. But fighting through that dark time made me so resilient, and that's awesome. That's awesome because it showed you. It showed you, well, shit, I'm a lot stronger than I thought. It just took a little time to realize that. And it's hard because when you share a child with them, you're always going to see them in your child because that's a part of them. Your child is a part of them too. You're always going to see them in your child, but your child is, they're their own person. You allow them their own identity. You, you basically express them. You love them no matter what, because you know what you instill in that child's mind. You know what you have taught your child. And you always make sure that no matter what, your child knows and understands and abides and obeys what you say. Thank you, Andrea. Much love to you too, sweetheart. Official, I sometimes think I went through this madness with the ex-narc to teach me a lesson and become mindful. Mindful, present. I was about to say present. Mindful, present, aware, strong, etc. Something I had to overcome, embrace, and proceed. It's a learning lesson. It definitely is a learning lesson. You learn your lesson and you learn how to heal certain traumas within yourself. Anyone can attract a narcissist, anyone can have a relationship with one, but usually it's people who have very bad trauma, whether it be suppressed trauma or, you know, overt type of trauma. Regardless, any kind of trauma, that's usually what sustains the relationships. That's what holds it intact. It keeps it glued. So it definitely is a learning lesson. It definitely is something that will, teach you to do better, be better, so you make better choices in the future. You know, you can walk away from this situation very bitter. You can walk away from this situation angry, hurt, disgusted, and project onto the world. You can do all of those things. Or you can accept it for what it is, realize that their projections, their behaviors had nothing to do with you. Take it as a learning lesson, and it pushes you forward to do better, to be better, to make wiser choices. You know, it's always gonna, in life, we're always gonna learn, and we keep learning. It doesn't stop, guys. It keeps going. You're gonna keep learning. You're gonna hit, after you're done with this obstacle, you're gonna hit something else. And you got to learn how to get over that hump, and you got to continue to do it, because we're brought into this world to learn lessons. We have to, we're brought into this world to bring value, to bring peace, to bring love, to bring harmony, because often God's going to put us here for a reason. You fulfill that, or at least if you die trying, hey, then at least you can say you tried. I'm so indifferent that I can look at my child and not think of him. That's all. Awesome. Very good. Oh, guys, my dad's here. Hi, Dad. I was angry, hurt, but I'm better now. Thank you. You're very welcome, Andrea. You're very welcome, and I'm glad. I'm glad that you brought yourself so far. You've come so far. You learned from it. That's what matters. That's what matters. We're all gonna go through. Listen, I can't say that come next year I won't face another obstacle. I probably will. I probably will. I can't say you guys are going to get into a relationship and then, stuff's not going to hit the fan. Anything can happen. But what do I tell you guys? Don't worry about trusting other people, because other people are bound to mess up. Other people are bound to make crappy choices and hurt you in the process. They're bound to do it. Other people are bound to disappoint you. They can disappoint you. But you focus on you, focus on trusting yourself, focus on, you know what? I'm gonna walk out into this world and not have any expectations, because, people are flawed. They're gonna make choices and decisions that are gonna probably affect me. maybe in a negative way. And just learn how to trust that you're going to make the right choice when the time comes. You're going to make the right decisions if something bad does happen. You're not going to let it affect you or impact you the way this situation. I think with this situation, it just came like left field. It came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. It was just like, holy crap. You weren't suspecting it. You were not aware and you weren't expecting it. But now that you learn everything that you learn, now you're going out there on guard. Took me 4 years to realize how much I changed from being in the army. And I don't know what it is to my dad knows. My dad was in the army. Um I don't know what that experience is like. I can imagine, if you were shipped out, if you were deployed, and it can be a very traumatizing experience. And it would be a lot to take in, and PTSD from that, because often people correlate PTSD with those who have served in the service. But PTSD is simply an emotional and psychological response to trauma. That's what it is. So anything can be traumatizing. Look at the hurricane that just, which anyone who's in Florida, I hope everyone is safe. And, my thoughts and prayers, because I have family in Florida. But look at this hurricane that hit Florida, that hit, the in the south. And it's still, what is it, going through South Carolina right now, right? That's a traumatic experience. That can cause PTSD. That can cause people to want to move as far away from as possible, try to move somewhere where no hurricanes will hit, or anyone who's experienced a tornado, try to move where there's no, it's anything can cause, any kind of trauma can cause PTSD. It's post traumatic stress disorder. And you know what, Blake? It takes a lot to admit that. It takes a lot to admit that. It really does, you know. And I'm going to give you a kudos for that, because not many people are willing to admit that. Not many people are willing to admit that. You have them, a lot of them now, still walking around town, screwing people over, hurting people, using, abusing, lying, manipulating, doing all kinds of stuff, and they will not take accountability. Will not take accountability for anything. And by admitting, that's growth. And it's an amazing thing. And you should be proud of yourself for it. I needed to be left to myself, away from people I could hurt or people that could hurt me. And I give it to those who put a mirror to themselves. I give it to those who sit there and really reflect. Narcissists, they don't reflect. They don't look at themselves. They know their behaviors are wrong, they know their demeanors are wrong, but they don't look at themselves. They're just like, this is me, this is who I am. You don't like it, not my fucking problem. That's their attitude about it. So, you definitely, and you are welcome here. You're welcome to be here anytime we have a live, any kind of group sessions. If you want to join, all right, we hold no judgment. I don't pass judgment on anyone. I'm willing to listen to others' perspectives. I'm willing to listen to the other side. I'm willing to sit down and have a conversation, complete, one-on-one or what have you. It's all about creating awareness and just trying to make things better, trying to make things right. That's all it's about. Yep. Andrea says they don't look at themselves and they do know what they're doing. They often do know what they're doing. They know that they're hurting you. And even if they try to act oblivious, I didn't know I was hurting you. Okay, well, I was telling you that you were hurting me. And you were convincing me or trying to convince me that I was hurting myself. It wasn't you hurting me. It makes no sense. But we know how that goes, guys. It's they always know. Yep, Ty says they always know. They just don't care because they're gratifying themselves. They're gratifying their own needs, their own desires. Their selfish ways. They're satisfying their own needs. They're soothing. They're self-soothing. So why should they care about anyone else? Because they need to be soothed in the process. Well, yeah, some people can be helped by being left alone because oftentimes if they're left alone, they're left to be with themselves. They're left to be with themselves. And in hindsight, it's really self-reflecting, you know, because one or two things is going to happen in a situation like that. In that, someone doesn't change their ways, they're going to be left alone regardless. But, which is why a lot of us went our own ways in our situations. We all went our own ways. We saw how things were. We saw that we weren't valued. We saw we weren't, being listened to. We weren't being appreciated. We weren't being respected. We were being devalued and demeaned and degraded and manipulated. And yet, you know, these people just sat there and gave it all like, it was something that we deserved. And if you ask me how I handled my situation, my ex said the same thing. He wanted to be alone. I left him alone. If anybody had seen it from my point of view and seen what I had seen, he was far from alone. Trust when I say that. He was far from alone. But that's another conversation for another day. Ty, Ty, you sent it to my phone. My phone's on do not disturb. That's why. So I don't know if you sent it to my phone or if it's a link. I don't know if it's a link. You can. I mean, if it's appropriate. Excuse me. It's that time, guys. You can share the link on the chat. Oh, guys, it is definitely that time. I'm getting, and we have our appointment tomorrow, so I have to try to get as much sleep as possible. Been up since 6, went back to sleep, woke up again. It's a long story. Oh, it was a picture to read to the room. Um, I don't think. Well, since we can't. Hold on a second. I can't. Because if I exit out, it's gonna cut it off. Well, what I'll do, Ty, I'll do it in next week's live because I don't want to risk the live stream cutting off. Thank you. Keep exposing. School is going well. School is going very, very well. I'm exhausted, but it's well worth it. Anything to move forward and get this degree so I can be completely legit. And that way, when people judge a book by its cover and they say, oh, well, you got tattoos and you got this and you got that. Yeah, but I got my PhD. So what? Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much for being here, sweetheart. Blake, thank you. And again, you're always more than welcome to hang around, come back, next week. And I should be, hopefully next week it's just Fridays. It's like end of the week, you get tired. Okay, yeah, no problem, Ty. I'll definitely save it so that way next week I can upload it. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for being here and just being part of the group, being part of the family, being part of the journey. Please continue to spread awareness. Please continue to speak up on it. Continue to speak your truth. Continue to encourage people to speak their truth. And let's try to flip things around. Really, let's try to flip things around. Try to do better. Let's be better. Okay. And more importantly, let's be on the lookout for predators. Be on the lookout for anyone who is just not of your highest good. Anyone who's going to affect your peace and not in a positive way, they got to go. They got to go. That's it. There's no question about it. But I will be back here next week, guys. As promised, I will. I'm just so exhausted. I am so tired, guys. But it's going to be worth it in the end because I am going to be looking forward to having that degree on my wall. When I do, oh, you better believe I'm taking 1,000,001 pictures with it. I'm just letting you know right now. But thank you so much, guys, for being here tonight. Anyone who is new or anyone who catches it on the stream, if you have any questions, if you want to reach out to me and contact me, narcsurvival101@gmail.com. Also, I don't know if you guys are interested in reading, but if you like to read, I'm still working on my books. I have my first book that is pretty much a draft. The name of the book is called Jasmine. I have spoken about this before. I think it was like last year because I started writing during the pandemic, and it's part of my Survivor Chronicles. So if you are interested in reading it, let me know. narcsurvival101@gmail.com. Just so you know, this book is not for anyone under 18. Okay, so I'm just giving a fair warning. I'm giving a trigger warning as well because there are a lot of points in the book that have trigger points. So if you're easily triggered, then I wouldn't recommend you read it. But if you like to read, and I'm not trying, I was telling Amanda, I'm not trying to be like Zane or anything like, but there are some parts of the book that is very over 18ish. Let's just put it that way. If you're interested in reading, just email me and I will send you a copy of the draft. You let me know what you think. And again, please check out the website, narcsurvival101.com. Sign up for it for my blogs, my giveaways, all future events. And I will be resuming with the one-on-ones. I don't know if I'll be able to do group yet, but I might be able to pull in one-on-ones. So I'll update the website with regards to that information. Oh, have a beautiful weekend. Oh, Ty, hush. Ty, hush. I think you might like it too. You might actually really, really like it. So I'll send it to you just in case if you want to. And give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I don't forget anyone. Yeah. If Ty has virgin eyes, then I'm still a virgin. Try to say that with a straight face. Okay. Okay, guys, just want to make sure I didn't forget anybody. If there was anybody leaving a comment. I love you, Ty. Love you, love you. So, guys, have a beautiful night. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you guys back here Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to catch me on TikTok, I'll be there Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Narc Survival 101. So you can catch me there as well. I think that's pretty much it so far. I'm going to call it a night. I'm so beat. Have a beautiful night, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Love you all. Be safe. Love, peace, blessings, God's protection. You know, all that good stuff. I keep forgetting the light is attached to it. I'll see you all next week. Have a good night, guys.